PM everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of Web3 Coffee and the Road to a Billion series, where we try and find the first dApp that's going to hit a billion users. Today, I am super excited to dive into a dApp that goes at the heart of what Web3 is all about and what we hope Web3 can deliver for internet users across the world. And that is privacy, security that comes from user-owned data. Centralized communication platforms like Gmail, Outlook, even all your messenger apps like Instagram DMs or Facebook Messenger, all come with the issues of centralized platforms. By that I mean essentially you're going to have your data exposed to centralized servers, you're going to be exposed to censorship risk, and of course the data that you're storing through these communication platforms may be used to target you with ads or various other potential marketing services down the line. And I think the biggest concern is, of course, the potential for government overreach, getting your data accessed by people who may not necessarily need to access it, but simply because they can. I think Edward Snowden did a fantastic job, I guess almost 10 years ago now, in finding that almost all of our private message data was being snooped at with these AI models to try and find terrorists or various other illicit activities. And look, I certainly don't support those activities, condone those activities, and we need to find ways to prevent them. But I'm not sure if the best way to do that is by just having governments with blanket permissions to just go through and troll all of our private messages. With regard to today's app that we're going to look at, it's Dmail, which is one of the leaders in the secure communication space. What I would say is that there are a lot of players in the space. We'll explore a few other ones, but I particularly like Dmail's multi-chain approach, which we'll get into very shortly. There's a few other key features I like about it, but I also like the team's been kind of working at this for a long time, and they have a pretty interesting roadmap for 2025 of features to expect. As we'll see, there's certainly some glitches currently with onboarding and even usability, but with that said, I think it's still a very interesting dApp to kind of dive deep into. Before we get started, the last kind of major point I wanted to say is that privacy is much more important than a lot of people in the 21st century seem to think. And we'll get into this in a more granular way over the episode, but I did want to quote something from Edward Snowden directly. And I think it was in 2021, he said, "Arguing that you don't care about the right to privacy because you have nothing to hide is no different than saying you don't care about free speech because you have nothing to say." And I think that very well sums up kind of the reason why we should care about privacy. So with that said, let's dive in. I'll see you guys in a second. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. Loading up Dmail, dmail.ai, pretty nice domain they've got. All right, so it says Dmail Network is an AI-powered decentralized communication infrastructure built to provide encrypted emails, unified notifications, and targeted marketing across multiple chains and dApps for users, developers, and marketers. Pretty solid set of on-chain numbers. Let's just see if this is live on dApp Radar to kind of cross-verify their numbers. Oftentimes, a lot dApp Radar seems to kind of I don't want to say a gaming focus, but a lot of these kinds of apps like Dmail just don't put their data on here. Yeah. So there's absolutely nothing here we can really see regarding their volumes. Absolutely nothing. But it does note there that they're on like almost 19 different chains. They listed on dApp Radar in September 2023, so they've been out for about almost 15, 16 months. All right. So they have their main app, which is basically just a Gmail on Web3 Rails. Seems like they've got two other kind of products they're trying to launch, the subscription hub and marketing hub. We can look into this. They're kind of interesting. I mean, it reminds me a bit of like what Brave was trying to do or what Brave is trying to do with their Brave Attention token. But yeah, again, what I do really appreciate is the efforts they've gone to kind of be multi-chain or take a very chain agnostic approach. Reality is right now Web3 is really fragmented in terms of user base. People aren't willing to go outside of their preference chains, right? So if you really want to build the super app for the Web3 community, you have to go across chains. It's also worth mentioning they say uh, Web3 chains as well as Web2. I'm not sure what that means, but we can get into that. Of course, we will take a look a bit at the token, but very briefly. Seems like we can't really access this part. Okay, there we go. So I guess you can subscribe to like get material from these chains or all those providers. We'll get into that. So it looks like they have been trying to build kind of a DAO-like structure with a Dmail token kind of at the core of it. Dmail will be a governance token, but I believe it's also used to buy services for your mail account. Obviously, Gmail can give us a massive amount of storage and various other features because they make money off the user through other ways. Dmail won't be able to do that, right? So Dmail's storage capacity will certainly be a lot less than what we expect to see with Gmail, and we'll get into exactly what that is. The tokenomics look fairly standard. I am surprised to see 3% for OKX Jumpstart, but I guess that might be standard. Yeah, I like that this has a identity layer as kind of the core offering. Um, you know, I feel like maybe this is a better way to do it than what I see as WorldCoin's functionality, quite frankly. But we haven't dug deep into WorldCoin yet on this on Web3 Coffee. We should do that soon. Yeah, and this is what I meant about the roadmap. Especially as we get into 2025. I think 2024 they built a very strong foundation, built some really important tech stacks, but now we're going to start seeing some real end user innovations, and that's quite exciting. I mean, let's see if they can deliver that. Yeah, so a lot of there's three stacks, right? There's the Dmail part, subscription hub, and marketing hub. The subscription hub and marketing hub, I think, are still at relatively early stages of development, but it's good that they've put it out there and we can get into it. Okay, and this is kind of interesting, right? They've given a very specific scenario of why we need or what benefits we can get from this type of a solution, right? So the idea is that previously we used emails and phone numbers. Now we can use wallet addresses. And what this allows for is that, any sort of action you take with your wallet, that can then you can open yourself up to receive communications regarding that action, right? The same way in the real world, whenever you use your bank account, you can get a message of some sort, right? So, and this will have some pretty strong utilities. Someone is going to have to solve this problem. So yeah, let's check out the token price briefly. It's a little unfortunate, I guess. So look, the after it's not been the best time for this token, but look, it's still maintained its price relative. I mean, it's still not at zero, right? An FDV of 40 million is much less than I was really hoping for, but clearly there is a community out there that's believing in this token. So with that said, let's kind of jump right into using it. Now, I generally always want to try and use the non-Web3 way to get in to see if it works. Let's see now, loading in with my Gmail. Yeah, it looks like there was an error and it just doesn't work. Okay, let me give the Telegram a try quickly before we'll just give up and use our MetaMask. It doesn't look like the Telegram works either, honestly. Yeah, that is unfortunate. Yeah, I guess we'll have to use a Web3 wallet for this. So let's get into that now. Right. So let's now use our Web3 wallet to just get into a new account for this. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty interesting, to be honest. I don't have a MetaMask account on this computer, so I clicked MetaMask and it let me sign in with Phantom. So that's pretty good. All right, so this is the 4th version of Dmail. Free, secure, efficient, cross-chain communication, forwarding and notification. And here's the main thing, right? The on-chain data monitoring, which I think is kind of the main use case for a lot of the power Web3 users, which is kind of who you need to target right now in the dApp space. So essentially, they create an email for you that's basically your wallet address at dmail.ai. I'm sure there's a way to kind of bring in some sort of other domain here, but it doesn't seem very simple or intuitive, especially if I was a non-crypto user. Here's what I meant about the storage. I mean, I think I think Google offers like 100 GB, is it? So here you got 100 MB. That's much less. But it looks like there's a way to upgrade without too much extra expense. Okay, here they've got like a questing platform where you can kind of get points and spend those points on various things. So if I earn 8,000 points, I can purchase my own domain, which is interesting. I mean, 8,000 points seems like it'll be a little bit of a challenge to get. I mean, it seems like it'll take about 3 months really if I'm actually maybe not, right? Because you could do most of these tasks every day. It looks like you could even gain over 1,000 points a day, so could probably get it in less than a week. It seems like they have a lot of chains integrated. I wonder if they have partnerships with these chains. Um, okay, so all of these say free upgrade, but I'm pretty sure they'll require some sort of domain purchase or something. It just doesn't, it's not feasible otherwise. Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to figure out this NFT domain account another time. It does seem a bit too intricate for me to get into right now. I mean, over here it's listed that I have some Dmail network NFT account, but it's just not clear how to go about it. There's also some spelling errors there. So I think it's a new feature. But essentially, it seems like you can purchase an NFT domain account here itself, and these fees are not including the mint costs or the gas plus mint costs for the initial opening of the NFT account. This is definitely stuff we should explore. Unfortunately, I won't be able to access the NFT market. It's all coming soon. And yeah, my understanding of the subscription center is that essentially all these platforms or ecosystems allow you to subscribe and you can get verified information directly from them to my email account or to some sort of place where I can access. There's certainly a large list here, but it's not the most expansive. I wonder how much this has grown. I think that'll be an important metric to see. So we can come back here in a few weeks and just see, how many more subscription options there are. Yeah, maybe it's time to see if we can send a mail. Okay, just checking my chat feature here. So it seems like to chat itself, I need to sign a transaction, but that was pretty buttery smooth. Um, can't say that that was at all a challenge. And yeah, it looks like I can just kind of go to a new chat and type in a wallet address and it would work. So now I'm going to try and send a quick email, but I'm just going to use kind of my personal email ID to see if a Web2 email address can work. It says it can, so I mean, from Web2 to Web3 startups, everyone has kind of enabled AI powered features, and by that they mean ChatGPT integration, uh, which is what it is. So yeah, it looks like you can send mails on multiple chains. I think we'll have to go with our Ethereum network chain because that's where our wallet address is based on. I just wanted to see if I could delete that signature, which I could. Seeing what this principal ID thing is. Okay, that is certainly unfortunate that I was not able to send it. And it looks like, I could try it with other chains, but unfortunately my wallet is not supporting those other chains, so I'll have to go back to square one maybe and re-register with a wallet that supports those chains. So look, definitely a little disappointing, but I mean the vision's there. A lot of the app is working, and I mean it could just be me who's not able to correctly um, follow the steps. This is worth noting though. It looks like I can auto forward messages to my Telegram. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. All right. Okay, I think we will probably stop there. We can quickly go and look at the subscription hub, which we did kind of see already, and the marketing hub. So look, these new features are going to be great if they work. And I guess time will really tell that. So I think this is one of those dApps that we will have to kind of come back to. But yeah, basically the marketing hub looks like a new version of what Brave and the Brave Attention Token were trying to achieve with rewarding users for watching ads, basically, right? It's a win-win for both sides. Users are motivated to actually see the ad, and the companies advertising know that the user isn't just going to skip immediately. They're choosing to watch the ad, right? So yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Web3 Coffee. I really enjoyed digging into Dmail and what they're building. Obviously, I'm a pretty big advocate for privacy and the potential Web3 has to enable that at a very scalable level. Happy to hear your comments, your thoughts, especially if you think there were features of Dmail I missed out or didn't try and do correctly. Happy to hear that. I always try and take the lens of beginner to crypto when I'm looking at these dApps, and frankly, that's in many ways what I am with many of these new use cases. So any feedback, please do let me know, and otherwise, it would be great if you could please like, share, and subscribe to see more content like this. Thank you so much, and have a great week.